What's up and welcome back to Interpreting the Scare. That's right, we're back at it on our month-long journey through the nightmares with yet another film to check off that bucket list of terror. But you ever get that feeling when you watch a movie you never saw before, but still, it feels like you have? Like, it's almost like they made it into a spoof film, like in the Scary Movie franchise or something, because to me, that's what this film feels like. It's Drag Me to Hell. Drag Me to Hell is written and directed by Sam Raimi. It ultimately follows around a loan officer that refuses a loan to an older woman that might lose her house over it. And because she does this, the old woman, who turns out to be a little bit of a gypsy, places a curse on this loan officer's life, and the curse in question basically says, you got 3 days. 3 days before you're dragged to hell. And in those 3 days, she starts seeing stuff, visions, terrible things. She starts hearing things as well. It's a whole ordeal. Anyway, so yeah, there's something about this film that definitely feels like I saw it before. Who knows, maybe I have, but there's also a pretty good chance that some other franchise turned it into a spoof film because it has that quality about it, which is easy to spoof. Directed by Sam Raimi, this film is corny, like really, really corny, really cheesy, but I think that that's the point. Because before he took the director's helm, Raimi actually requested Edgar Wright take that mantle. But Wright was, busy making Hot Fuzz and everything, but, I can't help myself but ask, what kind of movie would this be if Edgar Wright directed it? I feel like there would probably be a little bit more focus on the comedy, maybe a little bit more focus on the music as well, but, I don't think that audiences anywhere would even question the tone. But I did question the tone when Raimi did it. Weirdly enough, though, you can tell that it is a Raimi film. He has a very specific vision, I've learned, when he makes his movies, and that's the fact that he likes to pay tribute to a lot of really classic older films that were made a million years ago, and he modernizes the techniques that they made decades and decades ago, and he throws them into his films, and there's something really cool about that, unique even, but in the wrong project, I feel like it might come off as confusing and corny, which is kind of what this movie can turn into if you're not paying attention just right. Unfortunately though, Raimi was not able to include Bruce Campbell in the film because had he been able to do it, there would be no question in tone. It would be a really nice blend between horror and comedy, and to some, that's the case for Drag Me to Hell, but I think others don't fully understand that. Just look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. You can see that this film is rated incredibly high for critics, like in the 90th percentile, yet for audiences, it's not as impressive. You're talking about in the 60s, and as a critic, I can understand why on both sides. The technical achievements here are without a doubt pretty great. Very cool cinematography, unique vision that helps this stand out, and a premise that surrounds a gypsy curse, which that alone is pretty awesome. You don't see that a lot. You see curses, of course. The Ring is a movie about a curse. That was 7 days. This is 3 days, for instance. But the gypsy thing itself felt pretty different, and the crazy, creepy old woman definitely stands out as one of the most intriguing things about the film as a whole, even if it is overly corny. So as a critic, I understand the score. But I also understand the audience score that's in the 60s because it does feel like something that you've seen before. It does have a confusing mix of horror and comedy that isn't always clear, and it just kind of comes off as tacky. So at the end of the day, I understand both the critic score and the general audience score, and my score is a mixture of the two at a B letter grade with a final score of 76%, 76 out of 100 possible stars, which is more or less middle of the road, especially for everything that I've seen this month. I've seen better, I've seen worse, I've seen movies that I'll remember a lot more than this, and movies that I think are garbage or really forgettable. It really is middle of the road. But I understand why it's as popular as it is. It's a known Hollywood blockbuster-esque horror film, which a lot of films in Interpreting the Scares are going to be from this point forward. So more people have easily seen it. But what do you guys think about this one? Are you a fan? How would you score it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell to be notified when I come out with the next review. And until then, peace out.